I'm just trying to connect the comments real quick. Or is this in Chrome? Alright. What's up? I'm not excited to be here. I normally do not talk about... I guess I do talk about it sometimes, but last week a video was made about the Snark crew, and I don't want to speak for them. I'm going to speak for myself because a video was made about me today, or I was included in it, and other people were included in it as well. And I read the transcript. I did not watch the video because I was trying to understand what was being said without bringing my emotions into it. I am upset. And if that was the point, successful. If people were looking for change behavior, I've only been getting cussed out in my DMs last week. I have not had anyone reach out to me in a civil and respectful way regarding course correction for what I do on the internet. And after having been on the internet for 7 months or 8 months, maybe it's been, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. So 11 months. No? I can't count. Something like that. A while. Hi, Lynn. I have said this many times when I comment on people who are parents on my channel that I'm not a mom. No, I am not okay. I've said this many times in many videos. I've said it on the Snark crew. I've said it on my live streams. I say it because it is important information, because I do comment on people who are parents and how they may potentially be harming their kids with what they share online and how they exploit them to sell products. I know a lot of times there's a lot of yelling that goes on in this space with differences of opinions about who should be blurred, who should be able to comment on things, commenting on people, rather than commenting on companies. I think it's a difference in style as opposed to a moral difference in the rightness or wrongness of speaking up and bringing attention about something. It was incredibly painful to have something used against me like that, because I would like to have kids. I've been married for 10 years, and we've never been able to get pregnant. just because I do not have kids doesn't mean that I don't care about people, especially children, whose only advocate for them a lot of times it's their parents. I've made a lot of pivots as I learn and I grow, and when you exit an MLM, it's easy. It's after everything being so twisted for so long, you want to have, this is clearly right and this is clearly wrong. And I think that operating in the gray space is okay. I'm not looking for what I'm trying to say is this. I have emotions. This was hurtful. I understand that being a public figure on the internet, I am also open to critique. The people who give a shit about me, who have offered critique before, like, hey, this thumbnail is a little too potentially body shamey. Someone could take it in a way you don't mean to. If you are trying to not bully people, would you consider changing it? I've had those conversations with people. Those have been respectful. I've changed thumbnails because of it. I have been blocked by most of the people that not every person, but the people that I am trying to warn others about with regards to consumer protection. There's not a lot of room for me to speak up in a way that changes behavior other than silencing dissenting voices. Warning. I don't want people to get stuck where I was stuck in a multi-level marketing company. I want to speak out, and just because I've never had children or have children doesn't mean that I can't stand up for kids that are being publicly platformed by their parents. And asking a question isn't mom shaming. Uncovering misinformation regarding science and the potential to harm other kids if you are continually putting your kids in public that have a highly infectious virus or cold or whatever. It's not shaming to say that's not an accurate representation of how germs spread and how germs spread in this situation or virus or whatever. And you have a large platform and take some time to understand the weight of your influence and how you can potentially at scale encourage others to do stuff that isn't healthy. I've said this many times before, and if you don't watch my content, that's fine. You can't get the entire context of who I am as a person online or the breadth of my content based on one video. The last Snark stream that we had, the hour-long one before the debate, I thought it was important to reiterate the disclaimers that we play in every single video, because this person had made content about the Snark Crew last week. And to reiterate, on my chat, from my corner of the internet, that we don't dox people, that we don't diagnose, that we don't share information that could be construed as doxing for the purposes of targeted harassment, that we remember that we're civil and respectful here. And also, just because something looks like it doesn't mean it always is that, in the sense of this specific behavior is problematic and here's why. Not, she's wearing a red shirt so we hate her. Or we're trying to... I wanted to reiterate, and I don't mind clarifying the type of space that I want to cultivate on my channel. Even if it looks like it is a strong reaction to content critiquing how I do commentary. I'm sure this is some kind of win that I'm emotional about the video that was made. And I try not to call people who are in multi-level marketing any kind of names, even Huns. And I'm not saying she's a multi-level marketing. What's the purpose of using a name to degrade someone? I don't want to do it on my channel, even if it's about people I disagree with. And there's lots of creators who don't agree with me on that. And I don't take it as a moral defect that someone else chooses to do something that I don't. You don't have to have kids to care about kids. And you don't have to have kids to say, hey, is this advocating for your child in a way that's healthy? And saying that because they have a lot of influence as a top pyramid performer in multi-level marketing and as an influencer. Sometimes I can be snarky, but I do try to bring compassion and empathy to the conversation. That's one of the points that I wanted to do on my channel, is equipping people's education, empathy through education, and not get sucked into MLM stuff. I also, on Snark streams, I will ask people like Amy and Jen and Cheryl and Amber, who do have kids, what they think about something. Because I know, and I'm self-aware enough to know that because I don't have first-hand experience with something, that can obstruct the clarity of how I see a situation. There's been times when I've brought something up and Amy has said, well, what about this? Or Jen has said, what about this? Or Cheryl has said that. Or Amber has, because they all have multiple kids. And they're kind parents who advocate for their children. I don't know. It is painful if you have ever struggled with infertility to have that used against you for the purposes of being mean. And people can say all day long, I wasn't trying to be mean, it's just the truth. Sure. But if you've ever been empathetic to someone who struggles with infertility or doesn't and wants to have kids, I think the delivery would have been incredibly different on that video. I am not going to stop making content. I've been, since the beginning, open to feedback on my channel. I've apologized on live when I've got things wrong. And I know that there's lasting impact for doing things and then having to apologize later for them. I don't take that lightly. I don't think that the Snark crew is perfect, and I certainly don't think I'm perfect. But I will say, if you watch every single minute of every single Snark session and every single minute of my content, I think it weighs in favor. I think it strongly weighs in favor for trying to help inform the consumer and doing as much as possible to stay away from making fun of people just for the sake of making them feel small. You can disagree with me on that, but as someone who watches my content back because I want to get better at what I do, and I don't want to regret what I say about other people, as someone who has done more intense research on stuff and writing and looking at primary sources, I don't know how you can ignore that fact and continue to make content and say that I'm about a specific kind of way of doing things and it be an accurate representation of me as a person. I don't think that our Snark sessions or my sessions cover the entirety of who someone is. But I think that it gives a picture when I'm commenting on the danger to the consumer by either the CEO not acting to keep their independent contractors in line or the top performers encouraging their entire team to behave in a certain way that ultimately harms the consumer. I don't know what I was going to say, but I'm upset. I wish I wasn't so emotional. I don't expect that my commentary on people doesn't make other people emotional as well. But I will say this, the video that you made doesn't deter me from the work that I'm doing to help people be better informed if they decide to stay in a multi-level marketing company, or know that they can get out if they're stuck in a multi-level marketing company like I was. I the whole point, at least for me, is to try to learn how to be an activist in this space and not an activist that is so focused on follows and likes and engagement and all that stuff, but helping people get out and learning from others who have helped take down multi-level marketing companies. But protecting the consumer is important to me. And by and large, consumers are harmed in multi-level marketing companies. And addressing the cult of personality, and I'm not saying cult of personality in its true definition of like in government, but the idea that someone is so influential that it encourages others to act in a situation where you're using children as pawns or you're harming children through your actions. I am going to speak up, even if I don't have kids, even if I never have children. I'm going to say this again. If you have critique or feedback about how I make content, this has been the case from the beginning. You can reach out to me via DM on Instagram. And if you are being kind and or at least civil and respectful, I'm open to that. And I'll say it again. I won't say it again. Let me mute myself because I have to blow my nose. I don't want to ever make it confusing, letting people know who to avoid in the MLM space. One of the reasons that I do not blur public figures, yes, they're an example and a representation of the harm that goes on in multi-level marketing, but I specifically don't want to get people trapped and stuck in being on Jessie Lee Ward's team, which is why I don't call her Jessie. I call her Jessie Lee because that is what she markets herself as. So there's no confusion. I'm talking about Jessie Lee Ward, or I'm saying Dominic Izzo in Juice Plus hates women. And I would say that it would be harmful to the consumer to be associated with him in the long run. You don't have to have been bullied to stick up for people who are being bullied. You don't have to have been burned by fire to know that fire is hot, and to warn other people that fire is hot and that it would be dangerous to touch a stove or touch a flame. You don't have to have been harmed by drug addiction to speak up and help others try to avoid it if possible. And major respect to those who are on a sober journey as well. I'm not saying all this right. I am going to be taking probably the weekend off from creating content. I have a lot of medical stuff going on. This in of itself is also hard to process through. And if people making this kind of content take that as a win, fine. I will say I will not be entertaining the idea that I can't comment on situations with children because I am not a mom. I'm a human. I've been a kid in a very loving family. And I trust that the people who actually like me and to tell me the truth will tell me I'm out of line publicly or privately. I don't know if I will be checking DMs or new DM requests because of what's happening. I'm not saying I won't look at them in the future, but if you're looking for a quick response from me and you're in my Discord, that's probably the best way to contact me right now. You all, or most of y'all on here, are great. I wasn't the only person brought up in the video. I'm not sure how things can change in the creators who make anti-scam content, anti-multi-level marketing content, informing and protecting the consumer type of content. But I can take direction with my own content I make. I've been doing it with and without an audience since last April, at the end of April when I got out, so early June. And I'm gonna still continue doing that. And for a majority of my videos, I've had disclaimers and rules. And when I can, paste the rules in my description of what I want. And if you don't like that, then don't follow me and don't watch what I post. Again, because me and the Snark crew are being brought up, one of the big things I regret on a Snark stream, and I apologize the next stream we did, but there was something being brought up about mental health and having a hard time functioning and showering, and I was embarrassed to speak up because I struggle with my mental health. Taking care of myself is difficult at times. I'm in therapy and I'm on medicine. I'm not looking to heal myself online, but I was a coward for not saying I struggle with that too. And we can have some empathy and compassion for someone that we don't agree with and their behavior. And I made a statement in the next video about it. And I talked to the Star Crew about it. And I said I was scared to speak up because I was scared to what y'all thought about me for saying this. I hope that I become more self-aware the more content I make. I don't want the internet to impact how deeply I feel things. Because I think that while me crying is made fun of by pro MLMers, it is valuable to care about the humanity in others and to remember the humanity in others as I'm making content. And again, even though I shared that example about the mental health stuff, I also understand that situations like that, when I don't speak up or I say something that is out of alignment with who I want to be as a person, has potential lasting impact on people watching the stream or stuff like that. And I accept responsibility for that. All I can do is be as mindful as I can as I'm making content, apologize when I've done something wrong, and move forward. I don't see myself wanting to watch videos being made about me. Because not as receptive to that information. When there's never been any conversation about requesting for change behavior. I'm gonna ask this. Please continue being the great, respectful, civil audience that I know you all have shown yourselves to be. Just because you may enjoy my content doesn't mean that I would ever condone behavior that would make someone else's life uncomfortable. So I don't want to control the conversation by hiding information, but I want to be respectful about the potential people who may take the name of the person who's making videos like this and do something that I would say is wrong if they did that based off of this video. That being said, if you want to reach out to me privately and you want to watch the YouTube video, I'm happy to send you the link, because I'm not about information control on my channel. I'm gonna go pet my dog and get a drink and blow my nose and wash my face, and I will catch you on the next live stream.